Hello everybody, my name is Hafrishah from paulton.org, and that's the new Ford Ranger FX4. This is a video review of this new variant. This one goes for 122,000 ringgit, so it's about 7,000 ringgit more than the 2.2 litre XLT. It basically has most of the exterior features that you find on the Ranger Wildtrak 3.2, but that one is the most expensive pickup truck you can buy in Malaysia, 140,000 ringgit. So you don't have that much cash to spend, but you want the same look, so yeah, you can buy this instead. So let's take a closer look at what this model has to offer. On the outside, it looks pretty much like a Ranger that you know and love, but the full front bumper is taken from the Wildtrak. So the entire grille has a different treatment to it, but this time it's finished in piano black. Whereas on the Wildtrak, this part is finished in a slightly more unique finish of grey. This one's piano black. And this extension bar on the left side is finished in body colour here, whereas on the Wildtrak it's same as the center portion in grey. On the top of the bonnet, you see that this car has special stickers, but if you really look up close, you can start to see that this is going to be a bit difficult to maintain because this car is like a month old and you can already see water droplets on it. Anyway, on the front, this car still has halogen projector headlamps, and it does not have any sort of LED DRL. So the daytime running light that you see is this small little bulb. Makes it look like you've left the light on, which is not very cool. Anyway, on the side, the FX4 gets special wheels, 18-inch alloys, the same size as the one you get in the Wildtrak, but it's a different design. Whereas the 2.2 XLT gets 17 inches instead. It's also finished in a nice shade of grey. Pretty cool. On the side mirror caps and the door handles are all finished in piano black to match the front grille. And at the top, you get new roof rails. The roof rails are actually metal, so it's actually usable for you to carry heavy items. And down there you get brand new side steps. It's flat and wide. It's similar to what you get on the Wildtrak, but the Wildtrak has slightly more silver highlights. And on the side, FX4 badging with a black sticker running across the entire back. Next on the list is a new design sports bar. This one, also made of metal, so you can strap things around, you can strap heavy things on it for it to not move around so much in the boot, and it's actually usable. It's not as unique as the one that you get in the Wildtrak. That one has a nice plastic piece that flows across the back, but this one is more usable. If you look up there, you also get lights for you to see your things at night. There's a button to control it inside the car. Moving on to the back, the sticker job extends to the tailgate as well. This whole black piece, that's a sticker. This car comes in two colors, in meteor grey as you see here, as well as a silver option. On the silver model, this black sticker piece will appear very, very obvious, making all these logos appear more, you can't miss it basically from afar. Anyway, tailgate, very heavy. If you're a small little person, not much strength, so yeah, you might want to brace yourself for this. The load bay is very wide, it's very long, one of the biggest load bays in the class. So yeah, if you want to use your pickup truck to carry things, this is one of the best models you can buy. It's really heavy to carry as well. Anyway, basically the Wildtrak 3.2 is the flagship 3.2 litre model you can buy in Malaysia, and this FX4 is the flagship 2.2 litre model. Now, open the door, drive it, and see how it feels on the road. So we're in the Ranger FX4, and we're going to talk about performance first. I don't have like spare sandbags to put in the back, so I've got Jonathan Lee, our BM editor, and our videographer in the back. So that's to simulate heavy loads, just to see whether this car's 2.2 litre engine is up to, well, whether the performance is enough or not. And it's alright, it's not bad. I wouldn't call it fast. It's still fair. It's well below what you get in the 3.2 litre inline 5 engine in the 3.2 Ranger, but it's not bad. I wouldn't call it slow. Like if you've driven the old Hilux pre-VNT 100 horsepower Hilux, now that is slow. This one is just fine. It doesn't really pull as strong as the 3.2, but that's to be expected. It's a full 1 litre less in terms of displacement, and it's a 4-cylinder engine. The 3.2 is a 5-cylinder engine and it doesn't sound as good as well. This one sounds like any other 4-cylinder pickup diesel trucks, but it's not quite as loud as the previous generation Triton, so it's not too bad either. But of course, if you want a good sounding diesel truck, that's what the Ranger 3.2 is for. That one sounds like a train, like a locomotive, and really pulls like one as well. As for the transmission, this one uses a 6-speed automatic transmission, and it's one of the best in the business in terms of the pickup trucks are concerned. It's smoother than the Triton's 5-speeder. It's slightly better responding than the Hilux 6-speeder, and it's definitely quicker than the Nissan Navara 7-speed automatic. That one's very, very slow. There's no paddle shifters on the steering wheel, but that's fine because it's a truck, so you're not going to go that fast, or you're not going to go barreling down corners anyway. If you do, yeah, get a different car. Anyway, steering wheel. Steering wheel, it's actually very, very light because the Ranger has just moved on to EPS, electronic power steering, and it's extremely light. It's almost unnatural for a pickup truck as big as this to have such a light steering. If you drive Isuzu D-Max, the steering wheel is heavy. That one uses standard hydraulic suspension. That feels more like a traditional pickup truck. This one, a little bit less, more like a normal car, more like a 4-door sedan. But that's a good thing, at least to me. One advantage of having a very light steering wheel is that it's easy to maneuver around town, around tight parking lots. But at the same time, this car needs a slightly wider berth when it comes to very, very tight corners. The Mitsubishi Triton has a much tighter turning circles, and that will come in handy in very tight multi-level parking lots or even off-road. Having said that, the Ranger is still the best handling pickup truck in the segment. It handles the most like a car. It doesn't roll so much when you take into a corner like this. You know, it's still very composed, very well in control. Cars like the Isuzu D-Max, when you take a corner a little bit too fast, the entire thing feels like, whoa, yeah. So no, you don't get that here in the Ranger. And in terms of ride, it's not quite as good as the Mitsubishi Triton, the new one that has a very soft and composed ride. At the same time, it's not as luxurious, as premium as the Nissan Navara. That one has rear multi-link suspension, so it's a little bit it's a different level kind of comfort. This one has standard steel springs, as most pickup trucks do, and there's a little bit of bounce once you go through the bumps. The front's not too bad, but the rear passengers, I'm not sure if you can see, they are bouncing up and down a little bit when I go faster. As you put more load in the back, in the rear deck, you'll get less bounce. But if you drive this car as a family car without putting anything in the back, yeah, it can get a little bit uncomfortable. But that's to be expected from a pickup truck. You don't buy a pickup truck to be comfortable. If you do, get a Navara. In any case, yeah, this car dynamically is a great little pickup truck. Onto the interior, there's not much that's different on the FX4. The biggest difference is the seat itself. Whereas the XLT has normal fabric seats, this one has full leather upholstery with a nice FX4 logo embossed on it. The rest of the dashboard is pretty much the same as the XLT. There are a few more black highlights to match the same theme that you see on the outside. So the main part of the dash part here is also finished in black. The rest of it, as you can see down there, in the middle here you get a very small screen. This is a tiny Sync 1 screen, whereas the higher variants, the Wildtrak, will get a bigger Sync 3 screen. But at least that one, that's a color screen. If you go here, there's a multi-info display in the middle of the instrument cluster, but that one is a monochrome screen. It's a very old school, very ancient looking screen. The rest of the cabin is built more to last rather than to impress. So everything you touch, it's all very hard to the touch, but finish looks to be good. It looks that it can last forever. But there are quite a few nice highlights as well. I like all these dark chrome finish around the aircon vents, and the seats are very comfortable. It's a bit flat, not as supportive as some other seats that in normal cars, but this is a workhorse, so yeah, that's fine. Now let's take a look at the back. Before we look at the rear seats, there's something that's really cool that I want to show you. The full base of the seat can be lifted up, so you can put quite a lot of things down here. Things you don't want people to see. I don't know, you want to hide before you cross the border or something. At the back, there's a lot of space, as you can see here. And this is actually one of the biggest cars in terms of rear legroom in the class. Unfortunately, it's not all good because, as you can see, my back is sitting very, very upright. So for longer journeys, this might not be the most comfortable place to sit in. And unlike the Navara, there's no rear aircon vents. So under the hot sun like now, you will be sweating like I am profusely. So for the best rear seats, you'd want to go for a Mitsubishi Triton. For rear aircon vents, you want to go for the Nissan Navara. So there's not really a perfect rear passenger compartment in terms of pickup trucks. On the plus side, you do get ISOFIX points for all Ranger models, so you can fit child seats very easily. And on the safety front, this car has ESP as standard across the range. It also has 2 airbags across the range. Only the Ranger Wildtrak has 6, the rest of it has 2. Alright, so that's about it for the Ranger FX4 here in Malaysia. This is me, Hafresha from Polsan.org. Thank you for watching.